Hey, Steve Lindsley, welcome to my shop. In this video I'm going to show you how I turned a segmented bowl. I know it doesn't look like a segmented bowl, but if you look on the inside, hopefully you can see that it's got different segments there. There's a total of 85 pieces in this bowl. There's a solid piece on the bottom, and there's 7 rings with 12 segments in each ring. The main part of the bowl is ash, and the top ring is walnut. I decided to paint the outside. The ash is nice looking, but I thought it would be a little bit nicer to paint the outside of it. And you can still see the wood grain through the paint. You probably can't see it on the camera, but you can still see it. I used some General Finishes milk paint. This particular one is called Basil, which is a nice sage green color. I top coated it with 4 coats of High Performance by General Finishes. I'm not doing a General Finishes ad. And I'm not sponsored by General Finishes. I just happen to like their products is all. So what I did, I thought it would be nice to paint it the outside and then just leave the inside the natural ash color. It's really a utility bowl. It's not a piece of art by any stretch of the imagination. So I think it'll look good on the counter with some apples or oranges in it, or some kind of fruit. So I think it was a nice project. And in fact, I thought it was so nice that I made another one. This one is ash as well. It's got a little bit of a different rim. I can't remember exactly what it was. I think it might have been sapele, but it was just a piece of wood laying around the shop. And I like the color of it. It gave a nice contrast, so I just used that. I painted the outside of this one a brick red color, also a General Finishes color. But so anyway, I think that was pretty nice. Again, it's not a piece of art by any stretch, but it will certainly look nice on somebody's counter with some fruit in it. So hopefully you can see it there. So I have my 2 bowls, a green one and a red one. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I made them. It's a fairly quick video. Once you've seen make one of them, you've pretty much seen them all. So take a look and hope you enjoy the video. Well, after milling up the stock to the proper width, I went ahead and got the wedgie sled out and used it to cut the segments. There's 12 segments in each of these rings, so we just used a 15-degree angle and used the wedgie sled to cut them. It's a pretty easy process. I have another video on the wedgie sled and its use and whatnot, so if you're interested in that, please check my channel and you'll find another video on that, as well as if you search YouTube, there's a lot of videos on a wedgie sled. Well, once the segments were cut, I test fit the ring and it went together fine. So here I'm just using some Titebond 3 or Titebond Ultimate, I think they call it now, to glue it together. And any wood glue will do. I just generally have some of that around the shop, so that's what I use to glue it together. Now's not the time to be skimpy with the glue since you're gluing end grain to end grain. So I put more than enough glue on it, and just to make sure everything stays glued like it's supposed to. Well, after the rings have dried, a quick pass through the drum sander not only flattens them, but it also mills them down to the proper thickness. Well, the bottom of this bowl is a solid piece of wood. Here I have it glued to a waste block, and I'm just going to make it round and flatten the face so I get a good bond between the first ring and the base piece. So just cleaning it up with the bowl gouge and hit it with the sanding block, and it's ready for the next ring to be glued to it. for the first ring, I'm using this Titebond quick and thick glue. I've used that in the past. It sets up like in 15 minutes, so it dries very fast, and you can actually work it a lot quicker than if you used a regular Titebond glue. I just matter of spreading some glue out on this, and I've showed it before in some of my other videos, but I use use some cold jaws in a rotating live center to glue the pieces on. It actually works pretty well. Time to glue on the walnut ring. There's a total of 7 segmented rings in this bowl and 1 solid piece for a total of 8. It's just a matter of, again, of spreading on the quick and thick, or thick and quick. I can never remember which way that goes. But anyway, it works pretty well. So as I said, it's the same process as the other rings, so it gives you a little better idea what I want to hear. Besides the size of it, I did go ahead and put some clamps on it just to make sure everything was together tightly and there wasn't any gaps. Alright, now that we have it glued together, it's time to start taking off some wood. So I got the lathe running at about 600 RPM here. The idea is just to knock off the corners of the segmented pieces and start to do some rough shape on it. I'm using a 1/2 inch bowl gouge. Like I said, this is just the initial rough end to get the pieces round, the segments, the rings round, and the piece to some kind of shape. I've taken a parting tool and set 1 diameter on one of the rings. I'm kind of off and on about that. I understand the idea. You just set a bunch of diameters and then you turn it to the diameter and you get the shape hopefully. But I don't know. I think I prefer just to wing it and come up, have a shape in mind and just kind of wing it. So that's why I didn't do more. Set more diameters on there. After I did the first one, I said, nah, I think I'll pass on that. Here I've switched to the round nose scraper. I like to use the scraper to clean up any ridges or any tear out from the bowl gouge, and to use it for some more refining the shape of the bowl. It's fairly easy to use, so it works out pretty nice, and it leaves a nice finish. Would you like to see what happens if you get rambunctious and don't pay attention to what you're doing? Yes, my friends, that was a catch. The good news is it was all in the waste block, so I didn't damage the bowl any. So here I'm just using the bowl gouge again to start taking off some of the material around the base. I've left it kind of thick while I do some of the other shaping on the bowls, so it's time to remove some of that and get it down closer to the final diameter. a little final shaping and finishing with the scraper, and we'll be ready to move to the inside of this bowl. For the inside of the project, I'm basically going to use 3 tools. I'm going to use the 1/2-inch bowl gouge to knock off most of the edges on the segments. I'm going to touch it up some with a carbide tool, and then finish it with a negative rake scraper. Because of the diameter of the bowl, which is about 10 inches, and I'm turning it down to a thickness of 3/8 inch, I was getting would get a lot of vibration. So I'm working my way down. I'm only going to do like 3 rings at a time, and then I'll finish those and work my way down and just keep working my way to the bottom of the bowl. Well, now that I have everything turned away, I could feel a little ridge on the inside there, so I just marked it with a pencil, and then I took the negative rake scraper and took it down to where it was even with the rest of the bowl. Got rid of that ridge that was in there. Now that the inside's done, it's time to get the foot of our bowl down to the diameter that we want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out with a 1/2-inch bowl gouge, get it down to close where it's what I want. I'm going to switch to the round nose scraper again. I like a little bit of a reverse curve down on at the foot of my bowl, so I like it to come down and then like kind of curve in and out and make a little foot. You can kind of see it better when I get ready to use the scraper, but the idea is to get it down to where we want, and then after I do this, I'm going to sand the whole bowl inside and out up to 220. It's time to part this thing off the waste block. I'm going to have to apologize here. Something happened as I was doing this and the camera stopped recording. So I just basically used a parting tool, went down as far as I felt comfortable, and then took a saw and cut it off. I'll put a picture up after this little video clip ends of what it looked like when it was finished. So not quite sure why it stopped recording, but that happens every now and then. Well, it's time to finish the bottom of this bowl. I have it in the coal jaws, which is not one of my favorite things. I've had a bowl that decided it didn't want to stay in the coal jaws and came out at me, but this one is held pretty sturdy. There's a rim at the top of the bowl that kind of flares out, and the bumpers on the coal jaw there have a pretty good grip on it. So I'm pretty confident that this one's going to stay on there until I can finish it up. Well, that's how I made my ash and walnut segmented bowl with painted outside. I think it came out pretty nice. I hope you enjoyed the video as much as I've enjoyed making the project. It was a lot of fun. So I can see me making more of these. I think they would make good gifts. Maybe make them in different sizes, maybe shorter, wider, narrower. So and there's a wide range of colors for the milk paint. Or you could use any kind of paint. Doesn't need to be that particular brand. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please give it a like. If you'd like to see more of my videos, please subscribe. Until the next video, have a great day and keep turning.